Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Alexander, and hopefully we'll be joined by the Golden Loon sooner rather than later. We shall see. Of course, you viewer, today is Moon's Day, aka Monday, July 10th, 2023. So let's jump into the history today, shall we? We have a victory in battle in 48 BC, the Battle of Dyrrhachium. Julius Caesar barely avoided a catastrophic defeat to Pompey near the city of Dyrrhachium in what is now Albania. Ooh. What was he doing out there? 518. It's a pretty good time jump there. Former peasant Justin I proclaimed Byzantine emperor in the Hippodrome, Constantinople. Alright. And yeah, by the way, I knew, Albania was probably, part of the Roman Empire, so, I'm just making a joke. So, anybody wanting to leave a comment section saying, oh my, the Roman Empire expanded all the way, I know, guys, calm down. So, But 552, we have the origin of the Armenian calendar. All right. So, everybody, measuring time and distance and stuff in their own ways. And I've said it before, I haven't said it any time recently, but it is truly astonishing that, for the most part, the world has a unified system of, various measurements. Like, the U.S. is the only holdout for metric, but imperial was created before metric, I believe, or actually after metric. I'm not entirely sure. Hold on a second. Let's look this up. Which came first, imperial or metric? Metric just came first, and an imperial about 30 years later. All right. So cool. We learned something new today. But let's see here. Let's move on up. The city of Dublin in 988 was founded on the banks of the River Liffey. Oh, Dublin, Ireland. All right. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Golden Loon here.
Yep.
You know what? I'll be right back. You go ahead. I'll be right back.
That was quick.
Yeah.
1040, Lady Godiva rode naked on horseback through Coventry, according to legend, to force her husband, the Earl of Mercia, to lower taxes. Okay, well, I don't think that's going to prompt him to lower taxes. I think that's going to prompt him to divorce. But let's see here. Let's just move on up here to 1212. The most severe of several early fires of London burned in Southwark, south of London Bridge. Alright. We also have a victory in battle in 1460, Wars of the Roses. Richard of York defeated King Henry VI at the Battle of Northampton. Henry VI was captured. Uh-oh. Not good. Let's see here. That's just a treaty. 1553, Lady Jane Grey, daughter of the Duke of Suffolk, proclaimed Queen of England, succeeded Edward VI, who proclaimed his half-sisters illegitimate, reigns for 9 days. That was, that's not that long. So,
That's really short.
yeah, a 9-day reign.
Yeah.
Actually, if you think about it, though, if it's the water type of rain, 9 days,
That's a long reign.
that is borderline biblical, So,
Blame it on the rain, yeah.
welcome to the show, Miss Alice. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. I was on the phone with my mother earlier,
Mother!
and apparently I mixed up which niece went to the hospital. Apparently it was my older niece of my brother's, not my younger one.
Oh.
Because she's now going. Yeah, 'cause she called me on her cell phone saying she got kicked out, but then I found out she wasn't. She's just being a drama queen.
Okay.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know
fun
what,
times.
Alice?
But anyways,
You gotta stop feeding into their BS, because you're just getting involved in lies and crap, and it's giving you stress needlessly.
Hey, it's
You know?
family. It's always that way.
Yeah, that's called the family. It's it's kind of like I'm inherited into it.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, no, I'm still fine. I'm just like, oh, okay, so I mixed up who was where, but I mean, other than that, good morning.
Good morning.
It's been not a bad day. I'm not working today, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally after 2 weeks of not working, of working straight, I finally get 2 days off in a row, which is nice. And my mom is now making it so where first or second week of August, I actually am going to be flying back to Minnesota to see my family after over a year since I've seen them.
Oh,
Nice.
that is really nice.
Really nice.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I can throw a Zandy. Hey, Xanders, come out to Wisconsin.
All right. I love to try some of their famous cheese. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
I have to go to Idaho for the potatoes. I have to go to Wisconsin for the cheese, and I have to go to Georgia for the peaches. You know, we already have an Orange County out here in California, but I guess I can go to OC in Florida. You know, so
Yeah, you gotta go to you gotta go
for the
to Florida.
alligators.
yeah, I haven't tried alligators, so that's actually no. Like, see, if I'm gonna go anywhere, I'm gonna go for the food. You know,
Yeah.
like me being the food dude.
No,
so.
you gotta go for the Juicy Lucy, man. You gotta
What?
come out to Minnesota to have the Juicy Lucy. It's a cheeseburger, but instead of the cheese on top, it's 2 meat patties that stuff cheese inside of it. So when you bite into it, you get that melty cheese.
So the cheese is actually inside the patty, but it's not like a McDouble where like it's patty cheese patty.
No, it's stuffed inside.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh, dude, it's really good.
At first, I was
but
worried I was
also-
going to contract an STD, but this sounds delicious.
No, Juicy Lucy is really freaking delicious. I'll take you to the good. I'll take you to the. I'll take you to the spots, and then also I'll take you to the best place for coney dogs and that the Twin Cities has to offer.
Ooh.
Yeah, to the Gopher Bar we go. But anywho's, where are we in history right now? We're in 1652. Which one are you reading that one?
No, actually, you can read it now that you're here.
All right, now that I'm here. 1652, England declares war on the Netherlands, beginning the First Anglo-Dutch War.
Ooh.
Ho, 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 ho.
How about that?
Ooh.
Well, yeah, look at that. And then we have, we're gonna scoot up, like 100 years, almost 100 years. Just
About 80.
a few years, about a decade or so shy. 1739, King George II authorizes the Admiralty Board and to seek maritime reprisals against Spain. The War of Jenkins' Ear. What?
Huh. All right.
That's weird.
Dude, like
War
when I
of
heard
Jenkins'
Jenkins' Ear,
Ear.
all I wanted to do was Leroy Jenkins.
Well, let's check this out. The War of Jenkins' Ear. 1731, Spanish sailors boarded the British brig Rebecca off the coast of Cuba and sliced off the left ear of its captain, Robert Jenkins. This traumatic auriculometer, what the hell, was used as a pretext by the British to declare war on Spain in 1739. 8 years later, a conflict is what is now known as the War of Jenkins' Ear. Okay.
A war was started over cutting off someone's ear.
Yeah. So I mean, like, let's
The more you know.
the
Good
lesson
God,
of the
guys.
story. Like, let's not just dismember people. You know,
Yeah.
like, how
Yeah.
about that?
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. God, look at all these pompadours these guys are wearing.
Actually,
We
like,
haven't
what am I talking about? Let's not dismember people. I have like Little Miss like meat grinder in the show right now. So if anybody pays attention to like, I haven't told you about this, but we found Cyrus figured out a trend during Survival Sundays. Alice's way of handling the situation, you know, whenever we're like against a horror movie villain or something, throw him into a meat grinder. Somehow
or
she's
dismember them and eat them. Yeah, dismember and eat. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm trying to
apparently
avoid the
I'm
cannibal part, Alice. Like somehow you take a bad thing and make it worse. Like you're magical like that. But like no, like meat grinder is not a self-defense, Alice.
Yeah, I know that now. Well, I knew that before, but I was just like, dude, just I was like, I figured he was on a fishing boat, so they had a chum like grinder or something, you know. And I was
No.
like, dude, well, why don't you just put him into his own?
Oh my
like,
god. Let's get back on track here. Anybody who wants to know, like, just go and watch Survival Sunday. It's a great time.
Yeah, watch the
Like-
Bible Sunday. You can actually really learn about
Oh
that.
my god. What happened in 1746 here, though? Oh.
We have Scotland's Bonnie Prince Charles flees in disguise to the Isle of Skye.
Ah. So did he go up like the Isle of Skye? Like it's.
He was a pretender to the British throne.
Yeah, Bonnie Prince Charlie. They call him a pretender, but like he claimed that he had legitimacy. Like he was the actual heir. So, and there was a lot of shenanigans back then, but like I mean, truth is stranger than fiction. Maybe he could have been the actual heir, and like the powers that be just like shut him up. So. I mean,
maybe he's a bastard child, as they would call him back then.
Probably. I mean, like that's one of the theories behind Jack the Ripper is that he was hired by the royalty to go around and murder prostitutes because a member of the crown had possibly impregnated one. So they were just going around killing them all.
What was that one Jack the Ripper movie they made like a decade and change ago, like about that? It had Ian Holmes in it.
I never saw it.
Oh no, it's actually a good movie, but it's a movie about Jack the Ripper. I think it also had Heather Graham in it. But like she was that one redheaded chick or whatever. But yeah, it's an interesting story to say the least. But then they found out apparently the guy was just a butcher.
Yeah.
He was a Polish butcher.
Oh, of course. They take a swing at the Polish. Because why not?
Yeah, well, yeah, how you take a one-armed, how do you get a one-armed Polak out of a tree? You wave to him, that old joke.
Oh my God, Alice. Okay, anyway, before we get canceled by Poland, let's move on up to 1775. Horatio Gates issued an order excluding blacks from the Continental Army. That's not cool.
No.
That's not cool indeed.
No.
But then 3 years later, 1778, during the American Revolution, Louis XVI of France declared war on the Kingdom of Great Britain. All right. That was when we actually got actual backing.
Yeah, well, the French actually helped us win the Revolutionary War, probably because they distracted a bunch of soldiers to France because they did this to whatever.
Well, no, it wasn't that. Like, it was, they came in at the end at, I want to say Yorktown?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. The Battle of Yorktown might be, I think. But no, where, like, Cornwallis, like, the guy in charge of, like, the whole operation, he couldn't flee because the French had come in with their ships, and they kept him in the harbor, so they were getting hit by the colonials on land, by the French at sea, and they're just like, we're gonna die. We're done. Like,
we're done.
Checkmate.
Yep. Cornwallis had to surrender.
And Cornwallis, what a coward! Like, he was so dishonored that like he got beaten by like what he deemed as like lesser people, as peasants, as rabble, as the trash of society. When he surrendered his sword, he had his lieutenant or whatever surrender it on his accord. He didn't do it himself.
Well, also he breached decorum of war by slaughtering already people who have said wave the white flag, and they slaughtered them regardless. So I mean,
well, there's a reason why we wanted independence from these people, and we got it. So.
Yes, anyway, we did. Only for it to come out this way now. But that could be for something for the kicking the peanut later.
It could be, but in that same vein of talk, though, Alice, here in 1780, the Comte de Rochambeau and his French force of 7,000 landed at Newport, Rhode Island, to join the American Revolutionary War. 2 years after they declared war, then they actually, so it wasn't just sea, my apologies to Rochambeau. He came out here and he trained us in military combat, turned our ragtag militia into actual units. So
was that the guy that portrayed in the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson's movie?
Yes, that was Rochambeau. That was Rochambeau. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. The guy was distinguished. He fucking did something cool. It's amazing the fact we would not have won the war without the French. So that's why I think America always even though we like to make fun of the Chickasaws, we do have a lot of appreciation for them too.
I don't want to say that we wouldn't have won without the French, but it certainly would have turned into a Vietnam style situation for Britain. Because there's no way we would have
to win without them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, very difficult. But
we returned the favor in World War I and II. We freed France.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yeah, we paid our debt forward.
You're not kidding.
Yep. Anyway, Alice, you got a scientific discovery here in 1796.
Ooh, do I have one indeed? We have Carl Friedrich Gauss discovers that every positive integer is representable as sum of the most three triangular numbers.
Okay.
Ooh.
Cool. All right.
We
Well,
also have in what do we have here? 1800. We have
Yeah.
the British Indian government establishes the Fort William College to promote Urdu, Hindi, and other vernaculars of that subcontinent.
cool.
There we go.
Ooh,
And then
there we
also in
go.
1847, we have an event of interest. We have Urbain Le Levier and John Couch Adams co-discoverers Neptune of Neptune meet for the first time at home of John Herschel. I
Yeah.
didn't actually
So that's
know
not the
that.
discovery.
So these
No.
So they both like found Neptune, but like not knowing it together. But they finally meet for the first time at John Herschel's home.
Yeah, I think we covered this. Like, I think they both on the same day or something, like in the same evening, like in different areas, they both discovered Neptune and submitted it or something.
Yeah. Well, he's a photographer, mathematician, and photographer, John Herschel. So
Yeah.
so that's really cool.
Yeah.
So it's your turn in 1850, there, buddy.
Yeah, in 1850, pardon me, Millard Fillmore was sworn in as president of the U.S., replacing Taylor, James Taylor.
Hi-oh.
Yeah.
All right.
James Taylor. It is James Taylor.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
You're mocking me, then you question me? That was a roller
Well, James Taylor, I
coaster.
started thinking of the rock and roll singer, James Taylor. Like, what are you talking
That was a
about?
roller coaster of
Oh,
confidence
wow.
right there.
Dude, that 1861 is really interesting, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking about talking about that. 1861, Lincoln wrote to Kentucky's militia and said Union troops will not enter that state. Okay.
So basically, the militia had to do it.
Huh. Well, Kentucky, I believe they seceded. Like,
Yeah.
and this is
Yeah,
during
they were
the Civil
part
War.
of, they were part
So
of the states that seceded, I believe.
that's weird. Why would you write a state of the enemy and then let them know that your forces are not coming there? That's weird.
Could be a tactic, but no, he was writing to the militia, the people who
Oh.
like didn't want, like he was writing to the people who were fighting for Lincoln in Kentucky,
Oh.
saying that the Union's not going to go there. It basically is up to the militia to take it over, essentially.
Okay,
think.
now I understand.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what it writes to. It's like the Kentucky's militia says the Union troops will not enter that state.
That's kind
So
of sad,
basically,
but
up
I
to the
understand.
militia
Like,
to do it.
things were really thin, and like for a minute there, like we almost lost our capital, DC, like right across the Potomac, right from West Virginia, not West Virginia, no Virginia, and that's Arlington National Cemetery. We've been there. That was like the entire cemetery was Robert E. Lee's plantation grounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like that's the best general of the South lived right across the river from our capital. Like that's how close things were. Like it was really not a good situation. Oh. But then 1862, U.S. began construction of Central Pacific Railroad. Huh.
Oh, there we go.
And that makes me wonder. Like we're just talking about the Civil War. This is still while the war is raging, and you're building a railroad. Like, I mean,
Well,
That's
isn't
true.
this like when when they put like the East Railroad to the West Railroad? It was during like shortly after the whole Civil War that it happened.
I believe so. Hold on a second. Central Pacific Railroad. It's not gonna. So let me just look this up. Central.
And we use a lot of Chinese people to do that, so I tip my hat off to China for that one. Well, not
Let's see
the
here.
Chinese government, but the Chinese people.
Well, at least a lot of Chinese from the West building out to the east. Yeah.
Well, the Central
Yeah.
Pacific Railroad is a railroad company, so it's not telling me about the line. Central.
Yeah, when did the East? Just write when did the East Railroad meet the West Railroad?
Okay, here we go. It wasn't even east and west. This is. It's just from. What is that? Nebraska?
Oh, up to Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait. Is that Nebraska?
That's Nebraska right there, because
okay.
right above it is South Dakota, And that's North Dakota.
So
then
Nebraska,
Minnesota,
Colorado,
and then Iowa.
Utah, Nevada, and then California.
Nevada.
So this is not east to west. And
Yeah, so that's not the original one.
Well, it's west
But no,
to
that
east.
was a big day when we connected the east to the west.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me
But
add
no,
this.
we can talk about it later. Like maybe we can put that into a topic for the kicking the peanut. It was actually be a kind of cool one to talk about actually.
All right.
The Pacific Railroad meets the east, the Atlantic. You know.
So when the east meets west railroad. There we go.
Yeah.
Let me get
That would
rid
be a
of these
good
other
topic to
messages.
talk
real
about.
quick. What do you
It's
say?
a good piece of history.
It
so,
is.
I mean.
Yeah, so we'll look it up on the Peanut. So anybody interested in that, catch us up on the Peanut at 3 p.m. Pacific time every Sunday. Anyway, we're going to move on up here.
6 p.m. Eastern.
Yes. 1873 here, French poet Paul Verlaine, at the age of 29, in a drunken, jealous rage, wounded protege Arthur Rimbaud at the age of 18 with a pistol and gets sentenced to 2 years in jail. Yikes! You're 29 years old and you're shooting a kid? Bro. His protege, his own, student. Wow,
Yeah.
that's not good. So, yikes. Here we go.
Ooh.
Did you see that as
So
well?
Yeah, 1890. We have Wyoming becomes the 44th state of the U.S. First with the female suffrage.
All right. Ooh, this is cool.
That's interesting.
Huh. This answers a question I didn't even realize I had. 1892.
Well, in 1892, first concrete paved street built in Bellefontaine, Ohio.
Huh. Interesting. You think about like people, the whole thing saying about cobblestone streets. Streets used to be paved just with stone. It wasn't concrete and all that crushed up and
I'm
added
surprised
wire.
concrete goes back that far.
Oh, Romans had concrete.
Actually, in downtown St. Paul, there is still actually I think this might be a Brick Lane street. We still have one of the original Brick Lane streets for the state capital of Minnesota. Which is a really funny thing is that I'm sorry, I'm gonna mute myself because I got a car truck driving by here.
But yeah, no, concrete's been around for a while. But the first concrete paved street, when was the first concrete paved street? That's a question I know everybody has, but they just don't even know.
You never know.
Nope.
We also have in 1905 Dutch Queen Wilhelmina opens Technical Hague Court.
All right.
Or Hodge Court? I don't know how you want to say that. Well, no, Hodge would be Hogde.
I think you had it right the first time.
Hoagie?
Hague. R-G.
Hague? Hog.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hog. No, that's the hog. The Hague?
Yeah, the Hog.
The Hague, the hog.
The Hague.
I don't know.
Hague.
I don't know
It's
how to.
Hague.
I don't know Dutch.
I think it's Hague, but I could be wrong.
The only Norwegian word I know is fjord. So.
Fjord?
Fjord.
Bjorgen?
No, not fjorgen. Fjord, which is a
Bjorn?
landmass.
Bjorn? It's a name. Bjorn?
Oh my God, no, Alice.
Bjorn.
No, actually, I know someone named Bjorn. It's BJ with the weird.
Oh yeah, the O with the two little
over it.
dots.
ORN. Yeah,
Bjorn.
Bjorn. That's actual. Or Sven. That's also a Scandinavian name.
Well,
Sven,
speaking of
Bjorn.
the Dutch, here we go, another one.
Oh,
Yeah, what do we got here?
Ooh, oh wow.
1919, U.S. President. Oh wait, I'm sorry. 1919, Dutch Parliament approves a woman's right to vote.
All right.
There you go.
Hey, you can take this too.
And then also we have a signing of the Treaty of Versailles. The U.S. President Woodrow Wilson personally delivers Treaty of Versailles to the Senate.
It's Versailles.
Or Versailles, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's the L's in there always get me.
Yeah, well, it is a Chicois word.
Yeah.
And I
You gotta love
know
the Chicois.
I know you enjoy to intentionally mispronounce things because, I do too. But the Treaty of Versailles demands some respect. So,
Yeah, it does.
But anyway, 1920, Cleveland's future Baseball Hall of Fame outfielder Tris Speaker had his then record hitting streak of 11 stopped by Tom Zachary. The Indians defeated the Washington Senators 8-4 at Griffith Stadium. Okay.
Hi-yo.
Wimbledon, who cares?
Wimbledon.
Well, this one's more interesting here. 1923, 2-pound hailstones killed 23 and many cattle in Rostov, Russia. Yikes!
2 pound?
2-pound hailstones.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That's kind of heavy. Like, that falling down at the forest from like 30,000 feet plus from the sky.
Oh, terminal
Yeah,
velocity like that.
yeah.
That'll take your car out.
That'll probably knock your head clean off, like with no like skin flaps, like a machete. Just like.
Oh my God, skin
like,
flaps.
Skin flaps.
Jesus.
It's almost like being pushed into a meat grinder.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh God. And you said you wouldn't tease me anymore. It's hard not to tease me. It's like I open it up so easily for you, and I do it a lot of times on purpose just to hear a joke.
That sounds like something else. So.
Sounds like a straight man to me.
That's so Alice.
That's so Alice.
Where are we at now? We're at 1925 or no?
Well, 1925. Yeah. It was my turn, right? Like, I have one more.
Yep.
Member Baba began his silence of 44 years. His followers still observe Silence Day on this date in commemoration.
Oh, weird.
Like a silence thing.
Yeah. Didn't talk for 44 years.
Yikes. Oh. All right.
Damn.
I wonder if he died or broke the silence.
Yep, I just saw that one too. I'm like, oh damn.
Well, it is your turn, Alice.
1920. Yep. Well, 1926, as I am Lady Death, Lake Denmark in New Jersey arsenal explodes, kills 21, and it's $75 million damage.
$75 million in damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
21 died from an explosion in an arsenal complex. It's like there.
Yeah, the loon here just said a Phil Swift quote, and the first thing I thought is, man, we need a lot of flex tape to fix that. Huh.
God, Philadelphia. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, let's go with this one. 1929, U.S. issues newer, smaller-sized paper currency.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody walking around with bills the size of windshields, like, I'd like to buy some milk, please.
Now that's inflation.
You know those like those big decks of cards that like magicians use, or
those
1
big
foot,
cards.
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining. But I know it wasn't that big for the paper bill. But that would have been hilarious if we did it that way.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering, geez, how big were people's wallets back then?
The size of their leg.
They're walking around with entire cows, just they unfold $1.
My cow is my wallet. You just pull out a bill like it's an ATM. The cow was the ATM.
No.
Oh God. Anyways, I don't even want to think more into that one. That makes me feel gross. Now, anyways, we got 1933 here. First police radio system operated at East Chester Township in New York.
All right. Mm-hmm. So dispatch and all that stuff. Cool.
The first dispatch came out in 1933.
Yeah.
And in 1934, we have the first sitting U.S. president to visit South America, FDR in Colombia.
FDR in Colombia. That sounds like the name of a sitcom.
Wonder if he went down there for weed.
Ha. Well, you know what?
He went down there for cocaine.
Yeah.
No. Maybe he did go down there for weed. Because he was in a chair, he needed the medication. I don't know.
Yeah, but also he probably needed an upper for all his late nights during World War II.
Yeah,
because remember, he's the longest sitting president. Because after him, they actually put term limits on presidents.
Yeah, he had 4 terms, so then they put in just a 2-term limit maximum.
Yeah, well, why don't we just do that with the House and the Senate too?
Yeah, we got it. I understand
some kind of limit.
I understand people with careers, they have experience in that field, but because of the mechanics of the industry, there should not be career politicians.
No.
You know, like
End up with a Joe Biden.
Well, look what's happened.
yikes.
Well, look what's happened. Like, look at Joe Biden, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the man, he probably should have been done back in the 80s, to be honest.
yeah,
Like, you know, instead of, like, you know, like, I'm fine if, like, they have a term limit of 4 in, like, the House, because you only have 2 years as a House representative, I believe.
you know what? I have an
But
idea.
they
Like,
should be
and I don't want to
limited
get
to,
too
like-
far off the topic with this, but I just thought of an idea. Why don't we view and treat, you know, being a politician somewhat like serving in the armed forces? You know, you go on tour. You know, like you're in your office for like 4 or 8 years, you know, and then you're done. Then you're retired. You know, you go and live a civilian life. You know.
Yeah.
Well, the
I
military,
think they
there's
just
career
like. I think that
military.
the.
Well, yeah,
I think
but I'm
that
saying, like-
I think Congress has gotten too cozy with their being. You know, they get to exempt their taxes. Their
Yeah, but
taxes
I don't mean like
They don't
like the
pay
general
taxes.
stuff. I mean like like just how generally people like most people don't stay in the armed forces. You know.
That's right, but they have a contract. They fulfill it, then they can re-up, or they can,
Yeah.
or they can quit. Same with Congress. They have a 2-year. The House has a 2-year Congress contract. They can re-up, or they can quit.
Yeah.
So they
Well,
need
the
a
Senate-
quit
the
date.
Senate-
That's it. Done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Well,
anyway,
Pops, like the Senate
that's
has
another
6
good
years,
conversation for the peanut, Alice. If you can add that
Right? Yeah, I
in.
know, but no, but I just want to say the Senate has 6 years, right? And then the House has 2 years. So
Yeah.
I'd be fine with like if I would say like a 2-term limit for Senate, and then a 4-term limit for 8-term limit for the House.
Well, as I
Isn't
said,
that
we can
both-
talk about this in the
isn't that
peanut. We got to
both
get back on track here. In
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
1934, the baseball
Yeah, I'll
record.
put that in the peanut term
Yeah.
limits
Yeah.
in Congress.
Yeah, while you're writing that down, I'll start my turn here. Pardon
Yep.
me. 1934, National League pitcher Carl Hubble struck out Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, and Joe Cronin from MLB All-Star
Wow.
Game record for consecutive strikeouts. AL still win 9-7. Holy cats, bro!
That's a hell of a line.
Whoa! Struck out like all those big names.
Yeah.
Yikes, dude! I've never heard of Carl Hubble. Like
Yeah, I don't know. He's a great pitcher.
yeah, the only Hubble
Before
I
my
know
time,
is
but yeah. Hubble
You'll-
spacecraft or whatever.
the telescope, which is
Telescope,
named
Hubble
after
telescope.
I think Carl Hubble. I think.
Baseball pitcher?
No, not Carl Hubble.
I don't think so.
K-A-R-L. No. Well, it was Carl. Who is the guy that I don't even know how to pronounce? Hubble space telescope.
Hubble spacecraft named after.
It's not a craft.
Space, yes.
Scope
That's
name
spacecraft.
sake. Edwin Hubble. Okay.
And
And anyway,
So now
what
you
else
the
do we have
James
here?
Webb.
What?
Well, now you have the James Webb telescope up there, but the Hubble always caused problems with their telescope. The first thing is that they did the mirror wrong when it went up in space,
Yeah.
and they like put in the effect of zero gravity, and after that, like adjusting that caused other issues with the Hubble. There's always something going wrong with the Hubble.
Yeah, yeah. Like
But those are James Webb, this one's in further orbit than from what the Hubble was. So it's able to see more things, but it's a lot more technologically advanced, and hopefully they did it right.
yeah. Well, like the first pictures that came out of it. Remember, like everybody was amazed.
Yeah, they're
Like,
blurry and just off because of the mirror.
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, 1940, the Battle of Britain began as Nazi forces attacked shipping convoys in the English Channel.
Oh man.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would eventually lead to all the bombing and all that
Oh, yeah.
stuff. So, but then we also have 1941 continuation war. Finland invaded East Karelia as hostilities with the Soviet Union resumed following the German invasion in June. Yep,
Damn.
Operation Barbarossa, when Germany invaded Russia. Such a brilliant move. Stupid. So.
Well, it actually, like, what they thought was a good idea, because, like, Hitler wanted to rule the world,
Right.
but he made a fatal error by going up against Russia and deciding to, like, go back on his deal with them.
See, the
And
thing
that's what
is,
pissed off Stalin.
it's, see, here's the thing. Like, everybody stops and just looks at that, be like, oh, Hitler is such an idiot, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, he's an idiot, but he invaded Russia because he wanted the Baltic states. Like, he had split Poland with Russia at the very beginning. That's what kicked the whole thing off. But he knew that Russia would, eventually, want those Baltic states. Like, they were both expansionist,
so
politics.
he strategically decided to attack Russia, thinking that would be good, but then he didn't expect that Russia would fucking align with, like, the Allies, with Europe and America.
Well, I wouldn't say you didn't expect it, because, like, to not expect it would be just outright lunacy. Like, you're pushing somebody into a position.
He didn't expect the Russian resistance is what he didn't expect.
Yeah.
They were going to go down to the last man. They had millions and millions of them.
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier. With the we didn't have millions and millions during the American Revolution,
right.
But like, we would just make life hell for the British and eventually just make it not worth it to stay here and just keep losing soldiers. They'd just be like, you know what, screw it. Like, essentially what we did with Vietnam. Like, they made it. It was the same thing. Like, they were just a bunch of ragtag militants. That's what we were. And they were fighting the greatest nation on earth, the most powerful nation on earth.
Yeah.
That's what we did. Well, who won in both situations?
Yeah.
So, now granted, we got help from the French, but, Vietnam got help from the China.
Chinese.
Yeah. So, history repeats itself, guys. Anyway, 1942, what else do we have here, Miss Alice? This is a dark one.
Give me 1 second here.
One Mississippi Go.
1942, you said?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Mr. Himmler here?
Yeah, the other funny mustache man who's not really that funny.
No, not funny.
No, in ways, I think he was more brutal than Hitler himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have in 1942, Himmler orders sterilization of all Jewish women in Ravensbrück concentration camp in northern Germany. So basically, all women after that that went in there were basically not, like, they fucking sterilized them.
Yeah, they don't want them breeding. So.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, not only that, but, like, I mean, they were doing it to children.
We're doing it to children.
Yeah. Well, the world's doing it to children right now.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it's kind of a tough one there. But we also have an event of interest here in 1947. We have Muhammad Ali Jinnah is recommended as the first Governor General of Pakistan by then Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Clement Attlee.
All right. Pakistan, I believe Pakistan. Hold on a second. When did Pakistan become independent? 1947, August 14th.
I was going to say right after the war, I think.
So,
yeah.
Well, no, that was India.
Yeah.
Like, Pakistan split off. So India split off from Great Britain, and then Pakistan split off from India. That's why India and Pakistan hate each other, because India wants Pakistan back. Like.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they want them back, but, like, it's the same thing, like how, like, Soviet Russia wants their Soviet states back.
Yeah,
like
they want
the Ukraine. And the reason why Ukraine has a gold mine of oil and resources.
And
well, it's also Europe's breadbasket.
Yeah,
I
was just going to say, they can feed Europe.
Yeah, or not feed Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, what was it? Zelensky's trying to, like,
controls the
UN.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, in all honesty, like, I'm all fine. Like, I don't like the UN to begin with, but I don't think it's a good idea to put Ukraine into the UN.
Absolutely not. They're only doing it so they can declare war on Russia and start World War III. Like.
Well, exactly, and China, because China's not part of the UN either.
Oh.
Aren't they?
I don't call it a peace treaty, but we have an understanding with Russia when the Warsaw Pact basically stopped existing.
The UN, not the UN.
The U.S. agreed to
NATO.
not expand NATO.
NATO.
And we have, obviously.
Yes. So not only should NATO, not just okay. See, here's the thing that you're leaving out. The initial thing was for NATO to disband when the USSR disbanded. Then they got rid of that, but they agreed to not expand NATO. But the initial thing, they were going to disband it. That was ground floor. So not only from the start,
they didn't agree to that.
They didn't agree. So, but that's what it was designed to be.
Yeah,
like initially.
Warsaw and
So
NATO.
and I fully support that because NATO was a direct counter to the to the USSR.
Yeah.
So with the USSR gone, by all practical applications, NATO should as well be gone. But not only is it not gone, it's expanding.
But that wasn't what was agreed to. The expansion was
It doesn't
agreed
matter
to.
what's agreed. The initial thing, the reason why it was created. Okay, I don't care about agreement. The reason why it was created for it to be agreed upon in the beginning in the first place was for it to because it was a direct counter to the USSR. Kind of like like I'll bring this back up as an example. The Cuban Missile
all
Crisis.
countries around the world.
Yes, but I'll bring this
Anybody
back up.
attacks anybody in NATO is attacked one against all.
Well, maybe there should be a discussion again.
Yeah.
Do you want to write this up? Because we actually have some gold here for the kicking the peanut now.
Yeah, we do. So.
But yeah, maybe this is something we debate. And actually, Pops, I would really love it if you would join the Kicking the Peanut show on Sunday, so we can discuss more about this. Because I mean, I don't want to knock your age or anything, but you do have a lot more knowledge, and you've been around. You're around most of the Cold War. I only grew up in the last
that's true.
Like I only grew up in the last 6 years.
He was around the entire Cold War. He was born in '46.
Yeah.
The Cold War started in '50.
Yeah, you're 2 years older than my parents.
Yeah.
So, actually, I would really love to pick your brain on this on Sunday if you're.
I gotta
able
tell
to.
you, slim pickings.
See, haven't I been telling you this the entire time? I'm not talking, man. You're wanted.
We won't go into the doors.
I don't know
chat.
why,
We'll
but
simply talk about history and Cold War and stuff. So. I would love your knowledge of what you grew up in during that time, because I would love to pick your brain on that during the show.
Yeah, be fun.
Cool. Yeah. Well, Pops, that's going to be this Sunday, 3 p.m. your time.
All right.
All right. I expect you there, Pops.
I'll remind him.
He's not gonna let me out.
Otherwise, you're gonna make your unwanted but adopted pseudo daughter upset.
Not true.
Always
wanted,
like
always
your mother.
wanted.
So
Anyway, what do we got here in '49, Alice?
where are we in 1949? We are at the first practical rectangular TV tube announced in Toledo, Ohio.
A rectangular tube. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Because with flat
no,
surfaces,
it's like a
things
white
don't
thing.
bounce off and react the same way. So how do you, I'm trying to science this.
Well, we also have a British Gulf open, but I don't want to read that.
Yeah. I'm just looking here real quick.
Whatever.
Here we go.
The first parking meters installed in England, 625 installed in 1958.
First
Parking meter.
So the
parking
first
meters in
parking
England. So.
In England.
Yeah. Moving on to
Oh,
1962,
here we go.
we have an event of interest. Martin Luther King Jr. was arrested during demonstration in Georgia. Okay.
There you go.
And while that was happening, while that was going on, 62 as well, Telstar, first geosynchronous communication satellite, was launched. Cool.
Telstar.
So geosynchronous, so a geosynchronous orbit, which means I think it stays in the position.
I'm not sure what it means. Is that what it means?
Let me look it up. Geo.
Where it just keeps itself in the same spot as the Earth rotates, so it moves according to the Earth's rotation.
Yeah, so having a period of rotation synchronous. I don't know. I know the word. With that of the Earth's rotation. So essentially, you have it set to be right above you, and it stays there. So so that way, it matches the rotation speed, so it's not going around faster than the Earth's rotation.
Yeah.
So it's telecommunications. So it goes up and it's a fixed position in the sky.
Maybe that's what we saw on the 4th.
Maybe, like, you know, but that was really bright.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, do you think you guys saw a UFO or something on the 4th?
Maybe, you know, like, actually, maybe I should tell Noah about this. We might have seen something, because, like, it was very bright. The loon said it was an airplane, but, like, you know, it wasn't blinking. You know, and it was almost like, you know, somebody had a very small high beam flashlight just, like, up in the air, like, 50 feet. It was bright. Like, you know, like I could see the stars, I can see, you know, I can see satellites, I can see airplanes moving. Like, nothing else in the sky was as bright as this. Like, it was wild, and it stayed in the same position for hours.
Didn't change.
So, but
yeah,
that should be something for like our UFO show. Like, if we have one coming up, I thought we were, but you know. Anywho's, where are we next now? We just did that one. What's your third one?
Let's scroll up for the sake of time.
Oh, here we go. Assassination attempt, buddy. 1971, buddy.
Yep, right here. Go for it, Alice.
No, it's yours. This is your third.
1971 failed assassination attempt on King Hassan II of Morocco. 101 killed. All right.
Oh my God. So they failed to kill him, but they killed 101 other people.
Yikes. So, like, what happened? Did they pull up in a truck and just unload a machine gun or something into a crowd while he was in there? Like, what happened? Like,
who knows?
If anybody,
maybe this is something we can look at afterwards, too.
Yeah, well, like, I present this as a challenge to our viewers. If anybody is interested, please let us know what you find in that rabbit hole. What happened? Like, was it a bomb? Like, oh.
That's a good question.
Anyway, Miss Alice, why don't you take 71 here?
Yep, because this will be my first one. 1971, the National Women's Political Caucus, the NWPC, founded by U.S. by women, including Bella Abzug, I'm sorry, Betty Friedan and Shirley Chisholm, Myrtle Evers Williams, and Gloria Steinem.
All right. Oh, okay, that's not good.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We have a 1972. A herd of stampeding elephants killed 24 people in Chandra Forest in India. And then also a year later, in 1973, we have the Bahamas declares independence from the UK and adopts a constitution.
All
Way
right.
to go, Bahamas!
Bahama, Bermuda. I said that in reverse.
Take you to Bermuda, Bahama. Oh, a pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego. Oh, down in Kokomo.
Before we get sued for like copyright infringement.
Well, this is your turn. I did my 3.
1975, we got a cricket one. I got this just for you. Test cricket debut of Graham Gooch, the Gooch, versus Australia, out for a pair.
Yeah, out for a pair of what?
Dude.
Well,
you know what? That could just
what's
be
the Gooch next to? You even know what the Gooch is?
That could be itself right there, Xander.
God.
Out for a pair.
Well, I have to mute my mic. I need to educate the loon here on some new age slang, apparently.
Alright, so I will just go to 1976 here. British Opens Men's Golf Royal Brookdale. It's GC American Johnny Miller wins his only Open championship of Steve Besteros and Jack Nicklaus. Miller's second and last major title.
You know, she just like started reading something because I muted my mic to tell you about what.
So it's not a dead
Yeah.
air.
No. Yeah. So thank you there for
Hey,
that,
I was
Miss
just
Alice.
moving the show along for you while you were doing that.
Ooh, here we go.
Yep, that one you can take.
1978 World News Tonight premiered on ABC with Max Robinson, the first black anchor on a network newscast in the U.S. Nice.
There we go.
110 years after the Civil War, and finally we got a black news actor. News anchor.
Was that World News
Dude,
Tonight
that
premiered
next
or
year,
this guy?
World News Tonight premiered on ABC.
Didn't know it was that late.
Yeah, with him. So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
premiered
with
with him right out of
Yeah.
the chute. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Chuck Berry.
1 year later, 1979, Chuck Berry began a 4-month term in prison for $200,000 in tax evasion. Well, you know, like, I mean, not even the Joker will go against the IRS, you know, so, like, they'll get you.
Whatever the...
Hey, what's his name?
No, the Joker totally would.
Biden, they let off the hook.
Oh, well,
The
yeah.
Joker.
'cause he's-
For millions.
Yeah.
Tax evasion of millions.
Yeah.
Ooh, can I take this one?
Go for it.
Okay, because I just love this guy. Also because he also portrayed Herb Brooks, although I think he did a little too much on the Minnesota accent for it, but I still love Kurt Russell. In 1981, Escape from New York, directed by John Carpenter and starring Kurt Russell and Donald Pleasence, premieres in the United States of America.
All right.
Dude, do you remember when they did Escape from LA, where you had like the eye patch and shit?
No.
Oh my god, like, maybe tonight, later, if you want. It's like, I mean, it's cheesy graphics, but like, we should watch Escape from LA. It's pretty funny.
All right.
It's a good movie though, at the end of the day, but it's just nothing like Escape from New York.
I don't know why, but I'm compelled to, like, finish up the Hellraiser series. Like,
Yeah, no, actually, we could do that too. So, I'm sorry I fell asleep to that.
Yeah. Well, you're you, so.
Well, I was also tired and stoned. But anyways, we got 1981. CERN achieves the first proton-antiproton beam collision. 570 gigahertz? What?
GeV, whatever that is, I don't know. But that proton beam collision, like, wow.
Yeah.
81 and we're playing with
Dude.
science of that level? Like, holy.
I've heard that they're actually shutting down CERN.
Yeah, because they have, like, newer ones, like, coming out and all that stuff. I don't think they're going to be as big as CERN, but...
We spent all that money on that, like Europe and everybody, we spent all that money on it to just shut it down after, what, 15, 20 years of service? After, like, over a decade of building it?
Yeah, I
That's
know,
a
like,
waste of
it's
money
wild. Like, that's almost as
money.
that's almost as crazy as throwing a 20-year war away in Afghanistan. Huh.
Oh, I know, huh?
You know?
Sounds like a waste of money to me there.
Yeah.
But then again, I wasn't, like, all for, like, building particle colliders to begin with, but, like, isn't that still the largest one?
Well, I think CERN is the largest. You know what? Let's look this up here. Largest particle
Collider.
accelerator.
Accelerator.
There we go. Yeah, it's LHC. It's CERN. The Large Hadron Collider, that's CERN.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Alice, we gotta pick this up here. What do we got here in 82?
I know. We gotta get going. So we have in 1984, prolific studio drummer Jim Gordon convicted of murdering his mother and sentenced to 16 years to life in prison. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia after the killing. He is serving time in a medical psychiatric prison, and what else here? And has been denied parole 10 times as of 2018.
Wow. They should have just executed that guy. Like,
That's cool. Jim Gordon, huh?
I just don't understand, like, why anybody would off, you know, anybody, like, especially, like, you know, family members, you know, siblings, spouses, parents, you know.
Well,
It's
unless
yikes.
that family member, like, the only reason why I would see why someone would ever do that is, like, if that person was, like, after years and years and years of severe
abuse.
severe
Yeah, that's
abuse.
another story.
Yeah.
So,
I get that. That's self-defense, but this sounds just
Alice, a
ridiculous.
meat grinder is not self-defense.
But yeah, but he's been denied parole 10 times as of 2018. So, but we also have in 1982. I gotta go 2 years back here. We have Samuel Morse Gallery of the Louvre sells for $3.25 million.
Yeah, $3,250,000, and let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what that looks like.
$3.25
The
million.
images. Oh, okay. So, like, he did a painting of paintings. So, like,
A painting of paintings.
he did a painting of like a fictional room with all the paintings in the Louvre. So, like, the Mona Lisa is somewhere in here.
That's kind of cool.
Like here,
that's
like
kind of
this is a zoom in.
Yeah.
He has the Mona Lisa. He has Christ carrying the cross. He has some other Jesus picture over here. But like,
Well,
and that's
also
right
with
here,
the
the very bottom,
detail.
right there. So these are all paintings that are in the Louvre. So it's a painting of paintings. That's yeah.
Dude, but the
How
fact that he
meta.
put the detail on like the Mona Lisa, that's actually really good detail for what he did. I mean, look at that for how small it is, the comparison of it. That's actually a really good painting.
Oh, we've been over this before. Like, you know that that other style of painting where you just like do the dots and everything, and like there's like we've seen this one painting where like it zooms in, and then like we can see the individual dots, and it zooms out, and it's this like gigantic thing, and it has like so much detail, like down to pixels. It's insane. Like, not really pixels.
Do you want to know what's insane? Is when I went to Dealey Plaza on the top floor of the book depository, they have a picture of Jackie and Kennedy, but when you look closer, it's a whole bunch of smaller pictures of them put together to make that mural.
Oh, it's a collage.
It's a small collage, but when you stand back, you see Jackie O and Kennedy.
Have you seen the collage that somebody made of Camilla Harris of all the black people that her politics have put behind bars?
No, but like let's show that in the show afterwards, or just send it to me in DM or put it in Micheless.
Yeah,
but
remind me to
anyways,
do that.
I think it's your turn. It's your turn now, I believe. So
yeah, so we have we're skipping on up here to 1991. Boris Yeltsin was sworn in as the first elected president of the Russian Federation.
Yeah.
there you go.
And then that soon crumbled as soon as Putin got in there. So,
Putin.
yeah. Putin.
Well, Putin was is an old KGB.
Yeah,
He is. So, and then in the year 2000, Coldplay released their debut album Parachutes, later to receive the Grammy Award Best Alternative Album 2 years later in 2002. I like Coldplay.
I don't actually mind them. Coldplay can be they're an up and down thing, but for me,
You know what?
but
I'm going to say something highly controversial. I like Nickelback.
ew.
Oh, I love it. You're just like, ew.
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 I like Nickelback.
Ew, you poor thing.
Well, I mean, I am Californian. Some of me has to be stupid, so.
Yeah, I suppose. We all have our fucking guilty pleasures.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. I am, quantifiably dumb because, we've lost so many people out of this state. We've lost a seat in the House of Representatives. Why the hell am I still here? But anyway, let's move on up to 2003 here. It's your turn, Alice.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is.
No. Well then. 2003, you say?
Yes.
We have a Neoplan bus owned by Kowloon Motor Bus collides with a truck, falls off bridge in Twin Mun Road in Hong Kong and plunges into the underlying valley, killing 21 people.
Yikes.
Deadliest Hong Kong traffic accident of to this day.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Wow.
Well, maybe.
Hell of a way to go.
Yeah. Well, I was just watching a video about this this group. I think it was after a wedding, and they had gotten into this stretch SUV limo. And the company that was behind it were very negligent. They'd let things go it was rusty on the inside. And they were going down a hill and the brakes failed, and disaster. Not good.
Yeah.
So I don't want to
How
give the
goes.
details, but 16 people died.
Jeez.
So. Inside,
also have
16 people inside, 2 people outside. There's 20 people died in total, so I don't know where the other 2 came in. But 2 people on the outside, they were just out for a walk. It was a father and son.
Oh, man.
And I thought
Well, I
you
have
and
another death one here. I've got another death one here in 2006. The Pakistan International Flight PK-688 crashes in Multan, Pakistan, shortly after takeoff, killing 45 people on board.
Jeez.
Well, let's get away from death. Here's a more less lethal article for you, Miss Alice.
All right. So we have 2011 British tabloid News of the World publishes the last edition after 168 years in the wake of a phone hacking scandal.
Wow. You know, like 168 years of doing business, and you're going to be stupid and do phone hacking, and you, like, what a way to go! Like, just do your jobs, guys. Like, seriously, like, why do people tinker? Just do your jobs, get things done, and especially
Tinker,
like, you know,
boy.
Well, it's a tabloid news, so like, you know, there's that, but still. 168 years, you know, you have longevity to uphold. Like, don't throw it all down the tree. Oh my god.
But also, I gotta do one more here. In 2013, 40 people are buried in a landslide in Sichuan province in China.
Yeah, not one landslide, multiple landslides. Yeah, I thought you'd be taking that here.
Oh shit! 2015, we got 20 people. 23 people are killed and 50 are injured in a stampede at a free clothing drive in Myeongshai, Bangladesh.
Oh man!
Black Friday, Black Friday energy right there.
Yeah, it is Black Friday. Yeah. Anywho.
While that was happening in 2015 as well, the Confederate flag was taken down for the last time from South Carolina Capitol grounds one day after the state legislature ordered it removed. You know, like...
Wow.
That's... The Confederate flag is a very weird subject. Like, you're not really touchy, because, like, I want to uphold people's freedoms, but at the same time, if you're someone, like, you know, who actually, like, hates, I don't want you around. You know, like,
well, also what that flag represents is also a history that we shouldn't forget.
That's
yeah,
right.
definitely. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, it's a really, you know, like, we shouldn't be toppling statues. We shouldn't be rewriting history. We shouldn't be taking things down. You know, if something offends you, good, then that means you know it's bad. If something doesn't offend you, then either it's not bad or you're not educated. If you just are mad at something just because, like, you know, like, you need a reason, you know? Like, and as, you know, as the Loon has said, like, you know, all my life, and I agree with them, you know, like, I don't like all this hushed and covered up stuff. Like, if somebody wants to say, you know, something bad, please say it at the top of the mountaintop so I can know to avoid you, you know?
You know
like,
who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
But just remember, when it comes to history, if you can challenge history and try to change it, you can control the future.
Yeah, yeah. Learn from the past so it doesn't become our future, you know?
Yeah.
So, and how many times have I like, you know, like, said, oh, this reminds me of this episode alone? Mm-hmm. You know, like, how many times have we, like, had history repeating itself in this episode alone?
Yeah,
like,
it's
wild. So, but anyway, let's move on up here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Let's take this one. 2020. 6th century cathedral Hagia Sophia turned into a mosque by decree issued by Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, converted to a mosque from 1453 to 1934. Okay, so it was a church, then it was a mosque, then it became a cathedral again, and then now it's a mosque. All right.
Well, it's still a beautiful piece of architecture.
It is.
Look at that.
Yeah. No, it is. Like,
I mean, what year was that built in?
6th century. It's the 6th century. So the Hagia Sophia. The Hagia Sophia is the third church to be built on the site. The Byzantine Emperor Justinian I ordered its construction in 532 after riots destroyed an earlier church on its site in Istanbul.
Wow, but like, dude, look at that construction. Like, in some ways, I think that the construction that was done from like hundreds, maybe sometimes 1,000 years ago, stand up better than modern day construction.
Well, yeah, because they're actually made of stone and everything. Nowadays, we have, like, you know, all these, like, you know, regulations, and we have things that are designed to, you know, crumble and break and all that stuff. But like this is a mixture of, like, Middle Eastern and Western type of architecture, because, you know, you have the domes, you know.
Beautiful.
Yeah, You have the domes, but you also have like the straight walls and all that stuff, and that really is where East meets West. Istanbul, or Constantinople.
I'd never be allowed. Yeah, unfortunately, I'd never be allowed to go inside this mosque because I'm a woman. So.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm allowed. Yeah. Well, Muslim nation.
That's what I find. Like, the one thing I get mad about with Muslim belief is that women should be able to go in the mosque too, but it's only men that are allowed there. Is from what I've been on the understanding. Like, they have their own ways of worshiping, but they don't get the luxury of going into cool churches like that and representing their faith like men can do.
Well,
that's nothing against. I mean, it's like their culture and stuff. Like, I'm not gonna tell them what to do, but it's a sad thing that women don't get to see such beauty and luxury.
Well, here's the example of the pinnacle of. I don't know what I don't want to say anything.
Well, I think they're now starting to let women into them, though. I believe.
Okay, if I can finish talking, that'd be wonderful. A pinnacle example of the Muslim-led countries and all that stuff with how the world handles itself, as more or less a whole. Like Saudi Arabia gave citizenship to a robot. Okay?
What?
Yes, and this happened back in 2012 or something. Like, this is a while ago.
Oh my god.
They gave citizenship to a robot, whereas women still don't have rights. So a
robot has more rights than a woman?
Yes, in Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
I would say a woman should have more right than women, but I think that some mosques are now possibly allowing women in, but I could be totally wrong on that.
Well, it really depends on the sect. Very much like Judaism and Christianity, Islam has their own sect. You have the Sunni and the Shiites. Yeah. Right there, which are pretty much the Bloods and the Crips, essentially. But I have seen. Men and women both practicing. Now they're segregated, and they have a partition between them, but they are still in the same room worshiping at the same time. And I have seen that, in videos and such. So as I said, it really depends on the branch that is being followed. But anyway, let's wrap up the show here. That'll conclude us for this date in history. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting. Check our link tree. We're on multiple platforms. Not just video sharing and streaming, but social media and all that stuff, and our business affiliates and all that whatnot. Check the various links to the sources for all the stuff that we didn't cover, and we didn't cover a lot just from this one source alone. I employ a lot of stuff happens every day in history, and it is amazing. Like today, the first paved road, using concrete, answering questions that you don't even realize, and I think I can talk to everybody on Earth, answering questions you don't know that you even have. So, brought to you by the Omni Coalition. Anyway, for your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time, which is 12 Mountain, 1 Central.
2 p.m. Eastern time, and also would be 1 p.m. Atlantic time for those on the far East Coast or in the Caribbean and Bermuda.
Are you sure Atlantic time? Because 1 p.m. is Central.
Well, no, 1 p.m. is Central, so it'd be 2 p.m. Eastern.
3 p.m.
And then, 3 p.m. I'm sorry, I went an hour back. 3 p.m. Atlantic time for the far Easterners of California and the Bermuda and part of the, Caribbean and stuff.
All right, before we have any more Joe Biden-like word salad from Alice, for all of you and all of us, I am Leo Xander.
I am the meat grinder.
Golden Moon.
And you, viewer, of course, are you. Until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Woo! Be cool!